We got a couple people joined. Yay! I know it's kind of late today and everybody may not be able to make it immediately, but we're going to go ahead and continue on at 3 o'clock. Let's see, let me get over here to my pages. I'm not sure who's watching. Nobody said anything yet, but I'm showing some numbers, so we'll see. Sometimes Saturdays are iffy this late in the afternoon. Hi, Anne. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I can switch over to my camera. Hi, Anne. I apologize if I look a little tired. Yesterday ended at 3 a.m. and started at 7:30 this morning, so I had a class at Hobby Lobby, and I'm a little bit sleepy at this point. I need a nap. Okay. Not sure if anybody else is going to be able to join. Let me check. Yeah, it was a late night. I had a lot to do. I was trying to get caught up on emails and all sorts of things and projects and set up for my class and everything. So let me see if... There we go. Sent a message. Maybe that will help. I'm going to minimize that. We're going to go ahead and get started, Anne. And if anybody else joins in, that's fine and great. And if they're not able to, they can watch it recorded back. That won't be a big deal. First of all, I'm going to do the Patreon winners for May. I know it's June, but we have to wait till the end of the month to do drawings. So let me switch over to that. And we'll go ahead and do the drawing. And just so it's fair, I use a random number generator. And the first drawing that I'm going to do is going to be for the Happy Mail. And you get a number of draws depending on what your pledge is. And I sort this so that all the names are not stacked up together in the same spot. So I have 5 for the Happy Mail. And we're going to go to random.org. I have 1 through 5 and generate a number and get a winner. And it is number 1. So that's going to be Debbie Roberts. Congratulations, Debbie. You have won the Happy Mail, and I will get that out to you in the mail because you are on line number 1. Hi, Claudia. I'm glad you could join. I'm just doing the drawings for May, and I just did the Happy Mail drawing. Debbie Roberts won the Happy Mail this month, so I'm going to get that in the mail to her. And now we're going to go over to the gift card drawing for the Patreons for the month of May. And everybody has entered the number of times that draws that they are eligible for. And I go through the alphabet in order, A through Z, and I keep repeating that. And then I am going to sort that to mix the names up. So everybody's names are not... So everybody's names are not in order, and they're all mixed up to make it a little bit more fair. So that mixes all the names up. And we have 154 in. Yep, that's right, 154. So I'm going to come back over here to the random number generator and put in 154. And we're going to generate a winner. Number 2. Wow, that's weird. It picked low numbers today. Usually it picks high. Who is in the number 2 spot? Julie Blunt. She is going to be our $20 gift card winner, and I will contact her if she is not here, and we will get her a gift card of her choice for $20 out in the mail. So let me mark this as a winner so I don't forget who won. And then we will move on. Julie Blunt, and the other one was Debbie, and she is in spot 1. And I am going to save that and get it out of the way. All right, there we go. Okay. How do we... Hi, Jamie. We just did the drawing for the May Patreons. Debbie Roberts won the Happy Mail, and Julie Blunt won the gift card. It picked low numbers, 1 and 2, back to back. Hi, Sue. It's never done that before, so I know it's right because it always picks a different number. Okay. Let's see. We are going to go over how I created this layout using different images in Design Space. And I do have a list. Let me see if I can pull that up here of everything that was used. There we go. There we go. Here is everything that I used on this image. Now, I'm not going to recreate this exact one, but if anybody wants that list, you can pause the video here when you watch it on the playback, and it shows you all the images that I used to create this particular one, okay? But we're going to mainly go through and show how let me actually flip this around. How did I mirror that? There we go. Basically what I did is I took several images. This Be Amazing was from Love's SVG. This tag was from Cricut. And I have my little Cricut guy in here somewhere, right here. I used him for the eye in Amazing because I contoured that out and put him in there. And then I cleaned up some watercolor images from various places. This particular jar is from Design Bundles. It is from the, I forgot which bundle that was from. I think it's the free watercolor set. If you go to Design Bundles and type that in, it will pull that up for you. But the jar is the only thing I used from there. Everything else is from other places. Was it Hungry JPEG? It might have been Hungry JPEG. I think I said Design Bundles. I got so many images, Claudia. I don't know. But it's at one, either Hungry JPEG or Design Bundles, because those are the main two that I use. And Font Bundles. Font Bundles, Design Bundles, they're the same thing. So let's go ahead and get a new project and get started. And the first thing you want to do, let's just go over to Hungry JPEG. And okay, I think that's what it was too, but I'm just not sure. There we go. And if it's not here, we'll go somewhere else. They have so many. You can see this. I mean, there are just tons of watercolor images with all of them. This was a freebie, though. I just don't remember where I got it from. Did anybody find it? Did they look it up and find it? I know how I can find it. Let's see. Let me go right here. Upload. I think I marked it. Upload. Nope, not upload. I'm going to go to images. I don't know why I went to upload. I told you I'm tired. I went to bed at 3 a.m. and got up at 7:30. Let's go to uploaded. I know it was uploaded. Tons and tons and tons. Here we go. Who was that by? Didn't want to tell me on that one. It must be one I didn't mark. Let's see. Why is it not letting me select it? It'll let me delete it. Has anybody had that happen? It's not letting... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's it. I am so tired. Just can't think straight sometimes. It still didn't tell me. It just said watercolor. It cuts it off at the end, and I always save mine. Let me go back over. Was watercolor... That's how big it come in, yeah. Just the jar. I'm not sure if welding changes anything or not. It's still probably listed by itself. See how it cut it off? It's over here. I have it over there. I have it marked. But Design Space cut it off on me. Free watercolor set. I'm just going to type that in. Mason jar. And images. We'll find it. I should have done this earlier, but I didn't because I was busy getting the names for the drawings set up. That is Etsy. That is not it. This is what happens when you don't tag right. I apologize, guys. I'm sorry that I didn't get that in there. Anyway, I think it was Hungry JPEG. Put in jar. Maybe that will do it. Nope. Bouquet Builder. Thank you, Claudia. There it is. Boom. Just got to have, there it is, guys. I do apologize that it took me so long to do that. Let me see if it will let me give you the link. There we go. Okay, so once you've got it, you've downloaded it. If on a Mac, it's going to go into your downloads and unzip. Oh no, Jamie. Yeah, go ahead and take care of that. Thank you, Claudia. I'm going to have to send Claudia something for that. When you click on this and download it, if you're on a Windows computer, you're going to have to save it. You're going to right-click and unzip it. You are looking, in this particular case, there's no SVG, so you're going to have to get the PNG. Oh no, y'all are on a roll. Go take care of that, Jamie. They don't need to be sitting on the side of the road. It's hot outside. But I only use the jar from this image. So that's what you want to do to start. You're going to go into, I'm just going to use this same one since I have it in here. I'm going to hide the other. You are going to size this to a size that you can manage. And you can always make it bigger later. So I'm just going to size down to something that I can work with on my screen. And then what I did is I Googled watercolor roses. You can do this with butterflies, flowers, with anything that you want. But I just looked for images and I went with roses. You can find anything in here that you want. And all I did, I'm just going to find a different one, is just find something you like. That one might work. I kind of like this here too. I'd rather have a white background. But I'm just going to look. That's pretty. This is good. We'll just use this one. I'm not going to do a whole bouquet. I'm just going to show you guys how to do it. And you'll find sometimes it depends on how this opens up for you. I am going to download the image. I see this one too, and I kind of like that. I'm going to download that image. And then I'll just pick from those something that I'm happy with. I'm going to download that image too. I think I'll go with this one maybe. I don't know. But just pick you some images that you like and get them ready to go. And then come over to your design space and then you're going to upload. Okay, and then upload your image and then you're going to browse. And I put these in my downloads, so I'm just going to look. I kind of like that one, but it's kind of busy. But I think I can work with it. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to choose it. And we have all this background. You always want, especially when you have something busy like this. Now if you have some writing and it's one color, you're probably going to be okay if you go with the simple image. But I'm going to show you guys what happens when you don't choose complex. You see this image and it looks really, really good, and I've selected complex and it looks perfectly fine. If I go to simple, you see the difference? You lose details. You will lose details. And this may be a look that you're going for your particular project. No problem. If that's what you need, go simple. But if you want to keep a lot of detail, and since this is print and cut, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to keep that detail. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to hit continue. And then you have your advanced options. So what you need to do here is start cleaning this up, because we can't use all of that in that jar. It's not going to look good. So I'm just going to clean up all of these edges and these images and clean out some of the stuff that I don't want. I'm not going to take it all. I'm just going to, because I want it to be like a canvas on my iron-on. If I'm putting this on a bag or a shirt, I want it to leave some of that element in there. A little background won't hurt anything. But I just want to clean up, for the most part, all of the trash. Now it's kind of hard to see, so what I do is I hit continue, and then I look at this. I still have a big chunk down here, and you can see it more on the cut image, and I want to clean all of this stuff out on the outer edges up. I want to get rid of that. So I'm just going to hit back. I'm going to come over here and clean that up. I'm going to leave some of this on the inside. And then I am going to make this larger so that I can see all of that stuff, and I'm going to select my eraser. And this is exactly what I did with that hummingbird as well. That hummingbird was on a flower, and I cleaned it up to where I had nothing on that of the flower, and I had nothing but that hummingbird. And this one has a little bee on there. I think I'll leave him. But I'm just kind of cleaning up some of this outside stuff. These flowers don't have to be perfect. Remember, this is a watercolor. You just don't want a bunch of loose stuff out on the outer edges. So just clean it up best you can, and that's how you're going to go through and process and put this in. Now, I'm not going to do this exact image because I've already cleaned up the one that I had. Your best images, we're going to go back over and Google, we're going to Google roses, watercolor, PNG. And this is your difference. And then go to your images, and you'll see these are already cleaned up on the background. So these are, if you're just starting out and learning to work with these and putting these images together, this is what you want to work with. And I kind of like that one. And you see how this one has the checkered background? That's a PNG. It's already cleaned up. So I'm going to download that image. Let me get rid of that. And that's the one we're going to go with today. I think that one will look good in the jar. So I'm going to go back over to Design Space. I just wanted to show you on one that wasn't a PNG how you have to go about cleaning that up. But you're just going to get it like you want it, and you're going to keep going back and checking until you've got all of the trash cleaned up and you've got one solid image. Okay? And then you'll be able to use that. I am going to cancel that one. And I'm going to go upload, and we're going to get an actual image here. And I'm going to browse, and I know I downloaded it. Let's see. I've got so many downloads in here from doing different projects. There it is. And I'm going to choose that image. Nice clean background. I'm still going to select complex because we don't want to lose the detail by going moderate or simple. So I'm going to complex and continue. Nothing there to clean up. It's all nice and clean for me. And I have a cut layer. You can always change this to a cut layer, but right now you want to save it as a print. And I am going to insert that. In the real world, you're going to name and tag this. I'm probably not going to keep it. I might. So if I do, I'll reload it, saving it the correct way. And then I'm going to select that image, and I'm going to upload it. PNGs take longer to upload. The larger it is, the longer it's going to take to upload. But all I'm going to do is kind of size this down and tilt it around however I want it to sit on that jar. I'm not worried about the top of the jar. I just want to get it proportioned. Maybe, oh, I like it that way. That looks good. That's not going to leave a lot of room. Depending on how you want to do it, what you're going to put on there, if you want something on the jar, and I do, I think I'm going to tilt it just a little more that way. So now I have my jar. I'm going to come up. I want some height. There we go. That looks good. If you guys have questions, please stop and ask. Don't worry about time. We do this for our Patreons, and we'll take all the time we need. So if you have questions, you stop and ask, okay? Yes, so usually when you come and you get one that's already cleaned up, you can twist it, turn it. Even this one will work. You can do all sorts of things with these, and they're images. If you're not selling, you don't have to worry about copyrights. they're free for you to use. They don't even have any watermarks on them. So, I mean, there's tons of things in here. This is where I got my ladybug. I looked for a ladybug that was watercolor. I went in, and you can see, I think, no, that's not the one I used. I think that's the one I used. But there are just tons of them in here. There it is. That's the one I used right there. And I just contoured it out. Right here. Here he is. But you can clean up these images and use them and do all sorts of things. My watercolor hummingbird was on a flower. And I left color out. There we go. I am having a time with my mouse today. But I just searched until I found one that I really liked. And he was on a Morning Glory, something like this. And all I did was erase and clean that up to get my image. Now, there are some in here that will work. I like this guy. If you're just starting out with and you want a good, nice, clean PNG or something of that nature, kind of like this one too. But he's not very big. You'll have to pay attention to that. Sometimes your PNGs will stretch out well and sometimes they won't. I think I'm going to go with this guy. I'm going to download that. You can do some stems in there, Anne, and with that bouquet builder, you can put those in there. I'm not going to do that today. I think I did put a couple in on the image that I did from my shirt. I used the gray ones because you want them to be muted. You don't want it to be too heavy if you're putting wording on the jar, because you're just going to cover it up. Did I have my stems? There they are. I think that's what I used right there. And this was out of that bouquet builder, Leaf 13. Here's some dragonflies that I uploaded. But there are just tons of images. The Hungry JPEG has stuff that you can use. There's my hummingbird that I cleaned up. There's the ladybug I used. I just cleaned out around it. It was the one with the 4 colors on it. But you just clean it up. There was a Morning Glory here, and I just kept erasing till I got it like I wanted. You like the dragonfly? I Googled that, Claudia. I think that was a Googled image. It might have been a download. Look at Hungry JPEG, and this was from a set, Design Bundles. It came out of this dragonfly set from Design Bundles. It's cut off, but at least I can see this one. So those came out of that. We can put a dragonfly in there. Let's put that in there instead of the hummingbird for this one. And like I said, the larger the image when it's PNG, and especially when you start getting more in here, it will take longer to load. So if you're building your bouquet and getting a lot of images, you want to, I limit mine 2 or 3. You don't want to go bigger than that. And I don't know which one I want to use. So I'm just going to take these guys down to about 4 inches so I can see. Let's make this one 6 inches high. There we go. That's a little bit more manageable. This, arrange, move it to the back. And then we've got some greenery, or this one's a little gray for this, I think. In the real world, I would go and get a greener image, if that makes sense to you guys. Look for some stems and stuff that play off the colors of your flowers. A little contrast is good. If this gray will work as far as the color scheme goes, as long as you throw a little bit of green down here in the bottom or top as well, okay? Just to kind of tie it together and blend it. And if I use this dragonfly, that will bring that color in so it will work. I'm just going to... This is where some of the tips and tricks are going to come in that I'm about to show you. He's not going to look good sitting there flat. I'm going to unlock it and start skewing this a little bit so that he looks like he's coming in at it or going away from it. And just play with your image. Unlock it, flip it, all sorts of things. And get it like to be in your photo. Because you're basically, that's what you're doing. You're building a photo. And then you're going to flatten it all together and weld it. So I kind of want to make him just a tiny bit bigger. But I kind of like that angle. I don't want him to overpower and take over all of the flowers. I don't have any leaves down there. I kind of like him right about there. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize when you get those free bundles, they won't even download them because they don't know how to use them. And the PNGs are great. They are large. They take up a little bit of room. But you can do so much with them. You can use them by themselves. I mean, this you could put up here and put like a little monogram down here in this bottom corner. And put that on a jacket or a bag, anything. You know, you can, there's just so many different, it's limitless. Limitless what you can do with these images. But I like to go ahead and combine from other places too, so that Be Amazing, and you can use any saying or SVG from anywhere, or create your own with the fonts right there in Design Space. But this was already done. It was easy right here. Be Amazing already set up for me. I don't have to put my letters together, do all that stuff. So I just used this image. And when you're in on the free side of Love's SVG, people don't know it, but they also have a store as well as a free side. On the free side down here, this is what you're looking for. All of these are ads, or this is tips for them, your commercial license, but all of this other stuff, start downloads, this continue, all of those are ads, guys. You're looking for this pink download bar, and you're just going to download it, and then you're going to upload it into Design Space. So let me find... I'm just going to use something different on this one. I'm going to use this summer. This came from Design Bundles. These came from Design Bundles, I'm pretty sure. I got in a hurry and didn't tag. I don't know if I'm going to like that one. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to go back to the Be Amazing. I'm going to find my Be Amazing. There it is. So I'm just going to select that. We're going to pretend that we've downloaded and uploaded. It was on those sun ones, those came from, this one is just the Be Amazing from Love's SVG. That's where that's from. And I just put it on the card here, and what I did is I wanted to use the cricket head on there because I'm going to take this shirt to the Mountain Make-a-thon with me. So I wanted something, the theme is Be Amazing, and that's why I used this okay? And I'm really not liking those stems in there because they take away from my Be Amazing. I'm going to go and get a different stem to put in there. But yes, I would add a couple of stems, maybe stopping right along here, so it doesn't interfere. But like I was saying, I wanted to do I wanted to change this up a little bit and make it my own. So if anybody else used that image, mine might be a little bit different. So what I did was I went down here and you notice contour is not available. But if I weld it and then select it, it is. And I can contour out that eye. Now any of them that don't work that way, you can always slice that out. Okay? So I could use a little ladybug or anything on that to dot my eye with, or a heart, anything that you wanted. And I know this is looking a little bit small here, but we haven't sized any of this because we needed room to work. Let me bring everything up and we'll start stretching it and you'll get a visual. Because if you're going to print and cut this, your maximum height is 925, but your width is 675. Did I get that backwards? I think I got it right. So if I select all and stretch it out to 675, then I am going to be well in the limits of my print and cut. Okay, so I've got things going on this here. Of course, I wouldn't use this one. I would get something that's going to tie in more with my jar and my flowers. When I'm designing this, guys, I am not paying attention to the color of the jar. I don't care because the jar is the jar. It's going to be that color no matter what you do. Blend your insects, bee, whatever, like nature would be, and get those colors coordinated. Don't worry about your jar. Your jar is going to tie it in and it's going to look amazing no matter what color that this jar is. If you just don't like the color of the jar, then you can go and, I'm going to thin mine up a little bit, make it look a little bit taller. You can change that by skewing it as well. But make your colors work. And this dragonfly is not working for me. I don't like the color scheme, okay? I am just going to recontour that out. But you can use anything for your dotted eye there. The next thing I want to really show you guys how to do, so we're just going to pretend I've got a butterfly or an insect in here. But it was the tag. Let me see what tag I used. Again, I'm going to close that out. That keeps getting in my way. I want to leave that page. I'm going to stay on this one. The tag was, I like this one. I don't know why that one stayed in there because I didn't use those. But they stayed in there for some reason. This is the tag that, oh yes I did. I used the top of this one. Okay, so you're going to need tag M2FD8D. And that's on the Sentimentals cartridge. And I'm going to show you a trick on these where you can skew this and get that 3D effect and shadow it all at the same time. There it is. So that tag, you can really use any tag you want. I just like the look of that one. That's the same thing with the bird on it. There it is. So I have my tag, so I've selected that, and now I need that other tag as well. And it is on Summer Vacation. So I've got that one selected. Let's look at Summer Vacation. And I typed it wrong. Cartridges, Summer Vacation. There we go. And Not there. Okay, let's go with image number M3. M3 D5BB. You have to use your hashtag if you are searching out images or you won't find it. So I'm going to select that one. And now I have both of my tags. Thank you, Sue. And what I did here is I just inserted a shape, a square, and I sliced off the bottom of that tag because I didn't like the tag, but I wanted the loop. Okay? And I am going to duplicate that a couple of times just in case. And I'm going to duplicate, I'm not going to duplicate my flowers. That's right. I am going to put in a circle, and I'm going to duplicate it because I want just a teeny bit of a curve in here. I want to make that smaller. I'm going to duplicate it, and I am just kind of layering those over one another just to give me something to slice. And I just want a little piece here. This is all I want right here. And I'm just going to look at my flowers and how this is coming across, and it's almost straight across. And then I have a flower up there too, but I'm just going to use this bottom stem on this flower. I just want a little bit of a curve right there. And I am going to slice it out of that. Don't worry about the color yet. We don't need to worry about any of that or the size. I just want to get it basically where it will look like it is looped around. Okay? That's basically what we're doing. Is that making sense? So now I have that. I'm just going to save those just in case I need them. Save one of them anyway. I'm going to duplicate this tag as well, just in case we need it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my text. So if I'm doing this on a bag and I'm making it for somebody, I can put to or from. Now the one that I did in my shirt, I put Crafting with April on it. But I'm just going to make this to, we're just going to say Sue. I'm going to use your name, Sue. And you can put from, you can put a sentiment, you can put anything that you want on your tag. I am going to pick a font that I like. A little sunshine. I really like that font for this. And I'm just going to put it on there, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to change the color of my tag, though, to maybe a tan. You can, or a goldish color. Oop, wrong tag. There we go. Want to kind of change that up, and I'm going to change this to that same color because I am going to weld that almost right in. I want to kind of cut that off. I want it to, I don't want that sharp edge on it. So I'm going to kind of slice that off. Just a little piece, not much. And then I'm going to bring this into the circle so it looks like it's looped through. If you guys can see that. Let me see if I can make it larger. But when I weld it, I want it to look like it is actually looped through this tag. Okay? And I'm going to weld those together so that I have one piece. And I've got a little piece there. I don't want that. because you don't want to make your Cricut work that hard for that tiny little area. I'm just going to put a dot over it. You could contour it out, but instead of having to remember to contour it out every time, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. And then I'm going to move that to the back. And I'm going to put my sentiment on my tag. Here is where you want to go ahead and duplicate this part of the tag. Make sure they're the same. Well, they don't have to be the same size, really. Okay, so now we've got, here's this tag, and this tag. You need 3 altogether, okay? Arrange, move this to the front, and you're going to skew this one just slightly. I'm skewing the wrong one, sorry. Arrange, move that one to the front, because I'm going to be using this back piece. This is the one I'm using. I am just going to select them and skew that like that. So, don't move, undo. Select them both and slice. And then I'm going to get rid of everything. This I am going to contour out. I'm not going to try and get rid of, actually I want those 2 pieces. I don't want those 2 tiny ones. But this is what you're left with. I can get rid of all of this now. And I am going to also change that color on that one. And I've already selected my tag color. I want this to be a shadow piece. I'm going to stay in the same color group, but I'm just going to drop down and color it just a little bit differently. Okay? So when I go and weld that back on, or flatten it, I'm sorry, not weld it back on, it is a slight difference in color. I'm showing a good stream, Judy. Let me check my other. Yeah, I'm showing green on both. You may need to refresh. So once you have that lined up, you can select both of those and you can flatten it. And you see how it gives it that shadow edge? This is going to make it look more 3D. Then you're going to put your text in the front. And if you're going to put a ladybug or a bee, let's see if I have a bee. For Be Amazing. You're in the Target parking lot? Let's look for a bee. I kind of like this right here. I'm going to select those bees in case anybody wants it. That's M3356D from Garden Soup. Because I can change their color a little bit. And I am going to golden that up. And that up. And then I am going to darken those. Just to give it a little bit of fun. Then I am going to select both of those pieces and flatten. Okay. Arrange, move that to the back. And now let's put our text on there. I always do my text. Let me get this over here where I can quit selecting it. I do my text last, so if I want to use this for another project, this is just a tip, guys, in case you're wondering why I keep leaving the text behind. You don't have to unflatten everything just to change your text because you did it last, okay? Makes it easy on yourself. Now I'm going to size this tag up for here, but I don't like the way that's fitting. I want to give it like it's hanging loosely, so I'm going to unlock it and I'm going to start skewing. And I just play with it until I get it at an angle I like. There we go. And I kind of like that angle. It looks like it's hanging, but it can still be seen. And then I'm just going to make it a little bit flatter there. There we go. Lock it back. Just wanted to size it some. Now I'm going to select everything. Make it big enough for me to see. My internet is jumping there. Maybe that might be why some of you guys are buffering. If it is, I apologize. And I'm just going to get that tag out there and right there where I put that slice, because I wanted my flower out in the front there so it looks hooked onto the flower. If you do it the other way, then it's going to just put you won't see the flower in the front. You need it to show front and back. So you want to have that little sliced area out of there to make it look 3D. And then I'm just going to flatten the whole image. And now we can size down to our maximum size, which is 9.25. And then that makes it too wide. So I can do at this point is I can unlock it and skew it just down to the, is it 9? It's 925,675. Is that right? I always get them backwards. And that's so minute that I can probably unlock it and get away with it. There we go. And there you have that's how you do it. When you're combining a design space image, an SVG, PNGs, Googled images, you just want to kind of bring them together, and like this is your canvas in design space. It's your canvas and you're making your own art in there by using those images. And that's how you know you're going to get a one-of-a-kind image. Not everybody's going to be able to copy it. They're not going to find all your images. So, right. What was the question? Yeah, just ask in the group and we can reference this video and we can give it to you. It is a Patreon video. You'll be able to pull it up by those links that's in the group. As long as you have that link, you can pull this up. No problem. It will stay unlisted for you guys, and you can always ask us in the Patreon group and we'll give that to you. You can also save it on YouTube, so you'll have it. But just play with your images and skew them and work with them, and you can get yours to look like this too. In the real world, I would have probably taken just a little bit more time and went a little greener, I think, on my tag, more to a craft card stock color. And that way it's going to look even better. But you can do all sorts of things. You can add anything you want to your image. If you see an image on Google, let's just look at one. You can do this. I'm looking up floral paintings, watercolor. And then I'm going to go to images. You can go in and you can see something like this, and you can kind of recreate that using several different floral images out of design space without the background. You can pick 2 or 3 flowers, add a butterfly or something to it. Find all of the images that you want and create a one-of-a-kind art piece for yourself. And then when you make something and you want to sell it, you have the images. You know where you got the images. Somebody else may be able to recreate what you've done here, but they're going to have to search high and low and find the images because they don't know what search terms you use, things like that. And that's why a lot of times people ask about fonts. if I skew that Be Amazing font or this font that's on the tag, if I skew that enough, it's not going to look like the same font that we inserted. So even if they know the name of the font, they're going to say, well, it doesn't look the same, because they don't know what skew ratios that we used. And that happens a lot with fonts and replacing when you're making something like this Be Amazing, replacing that G with something that loops around, like they replaced the E or something, with that kind of throws people off on your font, because they will be looking for that E with the swirl on it, and it doesn't exist because you welded that onto that E. So that's how you do a lot of those images, where you can make them your own. Because when you copy an image, we can all copy an image and go in and make it look just like theirs. But when you choose your own fonts and your own little pieces like the bees or the butterfly, you have created and made it your own, made it work for you, and yours is going to be different than anybody else's. So did that help any of you guys, showing you how to use those PNGs and SVGs and actual images from Design Space? Did that help clarify a lot of what you do with those images? Does anybody have any font bundle or hungry JPEG images that they don't know how to work? Now, there are some EPS and some AI images and stuff in there that you won't be able to use. Some of them even have iOS images, and if you don't have an iOS device, you won't be able to use them. So when you're looking at these freebies that we post, let's just go in here and look at what's freebies today, because I don't think I've posted this week's freebies yet. When you're going in here and I post these freebies and you see this, and you would look at this, okay, these seashells are free. They're done like watercolor. You would have no clue what you would use those for. Now you do. It's the same thing. They'll show you a little bit, but you can combine that and make so much more out of it than just tossing them onto a shirt. Now you know how to combine them with other images from other places and bring it together, because they're only going to show you something simple here. Okay? And my hungry JPEG may look a little bit different from yours, guys, but these bundles, guys, I can't, here's some watercolor butterflies. Just tons of stuff. And boom, there it is. Look how easy it was for me to find this time. All I had to do was click on freebies. But this bundle builder here, if you take a look at it, this is exactly what we just used. I used stems from something else. I don't know if it has any stems in it. But like this one down here, this one is a $4 one, but it has some stems. You can slice that out. You can slice a PNG, by the way. I forgot to show you guys that. If I wanted, let me unflatten that and duplicate it. I don't want to mess up my little thing there. I like that. I'm going to flatten that back, and let's just hide it. If I needed just that rosebud out of there, you can, it's going to be difficult to get, but you can if you work at it. You're just going to unlock your shapes and go in. There we go, maybe. And now you can slice that out and just have this piece. Okay, so you don't have to use the whole PNG image, even though you uploaded the whole PNG image. You can come in and slice, and you can keep working with shapes and kind of clean this up and get rid of this at the bottom too. You can just keep working on it until you get the image like you want it. It takes some time, but when you're doing one-of-a-kind images, that's how you get them. Because somebody can go and search for this all day long, and they're not going to find that just by itself. Not going to happen. Why? Because I made it my own. I took that and made this. Nita wants to know how to do shadows around words. That's what you were asking about up there. Okay, if I wanted to do a shadow around a word, if you're using Design Space images, you want to come up here to your filter on your fonts, and you want to use a filter, and you want multi-layer. And then it's going to give you the fonts that have an additional layer to them. So when you select it, and then you type your text, if you look over here in the Layers panel, you can unlock, and you've got shadow layers, okay, depending on which ones you want to use. That's one way. So once you have those, Anita, you've got that text there, you can do that. What if it doesn't have a shadow layer? Go ahead, Sue. We're good. I appreciate you joining us and sitting in the Target parking lot. Thank you so much. You can also type in your, let's see, let me just type my name. And let's just say it doesn't have a shadow. Let me get one that is a single layer. Go up here, filter, single layer. I'm just going to use simple ones here because those that are swirly can, well, okay, we'll use this one. We'll use the Spider-Man font. This one has no shadow layer. Now I can duplicate that 2 or 3 times, and I'm just going to save that one off to the side. And I'm going to change the color of this one so I know which layer it is. I'm going to make it red. Okay. And then I am going to take this one, and I am going to slightly sit this one up to the top of that one, and I am going to weld it. And then I am going to bring this one and I am going to set it slightly under, and you'll want to align right and left, things like that. Get it like you need it, and I am going to weld that one on. And then that will create somewhat of a small shadow. You can't do a whole lot with it like that, but you can do it. Hi, Sarah. Glad you could join us. It's okay. You can watch it from the beginning, save your link, and you can go back and watch anytime. So that's how you can kind of fudge a shadow layer. And of course, I would probably have duplicated this a couple more times and went to the right and then also to the left so that I had enough of a shadow. That's not lined up perfectly. You have to work at it. This is work to do it this way. But you can, without another program, create a shadow layer by welding, just by simply just skewing a little bit. Yeah, so you can get it in there and work with it and get a simple shadow layer on some of your fonts. Some of them don't do well with that if they have a lot of little tails and really thin areas, but a lot of your fonts you can do this with. There is another way that you can do it with Design Space without really an outside program, and this is what I'm going to do. Let's make this one black. I am going to flatten it for print and cut. and I want to make sure that all of that's hidden. And I'm going to hit Make It. But I'm not actually going to print this, okay? I'm going to continue. And I'm going to come over here to where my print is and send it to printer. And I am going to print to PDF. And when you print to PDF, then you can just send it. And it's going to create a PDF of that image, okay? And I am going to open it in preview. And when I open it up in preview, let me get rid of this. We don't really need that anymore. I'm left with this, okay? I may have to make that smaller to get it out of there. Let's see. I made it quite big, didn't I? I just want, okay, now I can get to the edge. You want to be able to get to the edge of both. Now on a Mac, I'm going to do Command-Shift-4. But if you're on a Windows computer, you have a snipping tool, okay? I'm just going to come up here to the top, and I am going to select just that image, and I'm going to let it snip it. And I'm going to cancel. And I'm going to cancel this. And I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to cancel the cut. I'm going to back to my canvas. I'm going to change this to red so that I'm going to unflatten it first. And change it back to a cut. And make it red. So that I don't get it confused. I'm going to upload. Upload image. I'm going to browse. And I'm going to go to my desktop, where I have that image, where I just did it, and I'm going to choose that image. And now I'm going to, you can do simple or complex here. I don't think that simple is going to matter on this one. Yeah, it's kind of messing up my letter there. Remember, we covered that before, so I'm going to go with complex on this one. And continue. And now I'm going to use my magic wand. And I'm going to remove the background and the inside of all these letters. And then I'm going to continue. And I am going to save this. I'm going to save it as a print image. It doesn't really matter because you can change a print image to a cut. But you cannot always change a cut to a print. Depends on what your image is. Some you can. And then I am just going to insert this image into Design Space. Now this is the hard way to do this, but you can do it. It can be done without an outside program. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Oops. Maybe I'm going to rotate that 180 degrees. 270. Why did that do that? Okay, 270. And I should have, I missed one step, guys. Leave your bleed on. I forgot to leave my bleed on. But we can still kind of get our shadow layer out of that arrange. Move it to the back. You want to leave your bleed on and you'll get more of a shadow, okay? I forgot to leave the bleed on when I did my print to PDF. You need that bleed. But that helps you create that shadow layer. The simplest way, however, is with an outside program. And you can do this. I'm not very familiar with Inkscape. Inkscape really confuses me. Even though I know what most of those tools do, the steps sometimes just won't work the way I want them to work, or I'm missing a step or something, and then things just don't work. So I use Shortcuts a lot 4. This is my go-to. I love it. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a shadow layer on your font with Shortcuts a lot 4. The first thing you're going to do is open it up, okay? And your library is going to open up in a square box down here. You can just close it. It's on my other screen and I already got rid of it. But you're just going to open it up and you're going to select text. And if you hold it down, there are 3 more text tools in there, including typing on a path, which means if you have a heart in there, you can make it follow that heart and do a heart shape. Text on a path tool, and then your type on an arch tool. You've never used it, and it's wonderful for this. So I am just going to go with the regular type tool, which is your regular text, and I am going to go over here and I am going to select the 1979 font or Spider-Man font. You'll find it under both, and it's the same font. And I am going to just click on my canvas and type my name. Okay? Then I'm going to come up here to the top left and select the arrow, which is the select tool. I'm going to stretch this just a little bit. Oops, let me undo that. You want to hold your shift key when you stretch so it stays proportioned. I'm going to right click on it, and I am going to Appearance, add a shadow layer. Let me put the box over here. It's opening on my main screen. I want my shadow layer to be red. There's my shadow layer. I have a shadow layer on that now. I want a second layer. I'm going to select it all, Appearance, add a shadow layer. I apologize. That always pops up on the other screen because that's the main screen I'm working off of. I can skew this and make that shadow layer as large as I want it, small as I want it, or I can make it black out. I can change that black out until it connects, and then I can say OK, and now I have that. I can slice that out of the other. You can do an inset layer. There's it. How do I get it into Design Space? File, Export. I'm going to save it to my desktop. I'm going to name it. And save. Just going to minimize this. You're going to get a box that pops up, and it already is set up for Design Space compatible. So say OK. And what that means, this overall image is 9.489 by 17. It's going to import into Design Space at that exact size. So you don't have to worry if you design a box in here, you don't have to worry about if it's going to pull it in at the same size. You're just going to upload at that point just like you would any other image. I missed the desktop and went to music. And select it. It's tagged. And then I'm going to insert it because it's an SVG and I can do whatever I need to do with it at this point. I did not group it, so that's why it comes in like this, but it is the same size. That's just the automatic grouping. And there you have it. You have 3 different layers. Very easy, very simple to use. It has a ton of tools, guys, so don't be fooled by it. It's not just a text tool. You can do the title crawl on this. That will give you your Star Wars crawl, so to speak. Let me undo that. Let me get rid of that shadow layer. If I wanted this to title crawl, I can just go to Effects and just click on it, and then I get the title crawl on that. Very simple, very easy to use. You've got a puzzle generator. You've got a rhinestone. I can change this to a rhinestone template simply by clicking on rhinestone, selecting the size stones I want. If I want 6s or whatever, rounds, squares, rhinestone template. Easy, easy peasy. And if you get it from this link, I hope it'll let me post it. If you get it from that link, you'll also get a Dreaming Tree gift card with it. But there are tons of things in SCAL. They're easy to use. Yes, you can do them in Inkscape. Inkscape is free, but it's not as easy to do. It's not like click, select and click. I like the easy method. So did that help answer your questions, Anita and Ann? Does anybody else have any questions? It doesn't matter. This is asked because Patreons get to ask about anything. You can ask about SCAL and Design Space, any of the projects, Hungry JPEG, font bundles, through Dreaming Tree, SVG cuts. You guys ask your questions anytime. You can always ask them in group too if you forget to bring them to the meeting. I like to tell you guys, kind of keep a notepad or something handy. And when you run across something that you really want to know, write it down. That way when you can come to the monthly Ask Me Anythings, you can ask those questions and we will go over it and show you on screen exactly the steps to do to achieve what you're needing to do. And I'll also do little small clips for you guys. I've always done that and I still will, so anytime. And some of you may be new. Some of you may be new Patreons. I truly and greatly appreciate the support of each and every one of you. And I constantly say it. I may say it too much, but I do thank all of you. You mean the world to me. And anytime you need an SVG, if it's really quick, something simple, or a rhinestone template, something of this nature, and you don't have the means to do it or you need help with it, tell me. I'll be happy to create it and zip that file up and send it to you on Messenger. Not a problem. Everybody that's a Patreon gets one free file a month. So take advantage of it and use it. If I'm really backed up and busy, it may take me a little bit of time. If it's an emergency, let me know. I will get it to you as fast as I can. But it's a first come, first served basis. So, any more questions? Hi, I'm back. Y'all don't have to look at the screen now. Don't pay attention to the mess behind me. My craft room exploded. Like I said, I had a class at Hobby Lobby this morning, so I was gone for most of the morning, and it blew up on me last night. Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Sarah, Ann, Anita, Claudia, Jamie, Sue. I know Jamie and Sue had to go. Judy. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much. And you guys, if you have questions, ask them over in the group. And if I don't get to them right away, always tag me. If I haven't responded to a Patreon in 10 minutes or less, please tag me. You guys come first. I teach Design Space, and I taught a beginner class today, and next week is an advanced class. They made a shirt, a box, and a card and set up their new machines. So we had fun. It was a lot of fun. All right, if nobody has any more questions, I will see you on the next Ask Me Anything. That will be on, if you guys want to go ahead and mark it. Let's see. July the 7th at 3 o'clock. July 7th at 3 o'clock. So just in case anybody needs to know. Now, of course, any of you that are new, we also do Monday nights at 7 p.m. Monday we are doing, I already mailed it out, a Constantina card that Sue and I designed. I was working on one. She already had one, and so she gave me her file and I tweaked it. So we are Monday night going to put together one of the Constantina pop-up cards. So if you guys want to join in on that, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday night. Okay, if nobody has any more questions, we're going to congratulate Debbie Roberts and Judy Blunt again, winners for the Happy Mail and the gift card drawing for the month of May. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon and enjoy the rest of your weekend.